Out there, this is Jerry at the Movies with your host Jerry Saravia. As some of you might know, on October 30th of this year, 2012, they are going to release directly to DVD A Christmas Story 2. So let me just say that title one more time. A Christmas Story 2. That's right, this is the sequel to the 1983 film directed by the late Bob Clark, A Christmas Story, which of course starred Darren-McGavin, Peter-Billingsley, Melinda Dillon, you know, the whole cast. The movie's pretty much a part of pop culture. And a perennial favorite shown on TBS on a 24-hour loop every Christmas. Now, what is odd about this is the fact that it's going directly to DVD. Now, there has been a semi-sequel to some degree, or let's say a continuation of A Christmas Story, and it was called My Summer Story, also known as It Runs in the Family, which was barely released in theaters in 1994, and again, also known as My Summer Story, a completely different cast. Charles Grodin played Darren-McGavin's part as the old man. Mary Steenburgen replaced Melinda Dillon, and Kieran Culkin played Ralphie, that Peter-Billingsley played back in 1983. And that film had to do with a spinning top, and you got to meet the Bumpuses clan, or the Bumpus clan, that lived across the street from Ralphie's family. It wasn't a bad film, you know, not the greatest, not even close to the charm of the original film. And as I discovered, there have been some made-for-TV titles dealing with Gene Shepard, who of course wrote these narration for these stories and also broadcast them on radio at one time. He passed away, by the way, Gene Shepard, in 1999, which brings up another point, that Gene Shepard obviously cannot do the narration for A Christmas Story 2, so that's a big question mark. Who's going to do narration, or are they going to have narration at all? So, this sequel stars a young new kid named Braden LeMasters, who plays a teenage Ralphie. And he yearns for a 1938 Hutmobile Skyline convertible for Christmas. The actress playing the mother is Stacey Travis, who is Nancy Travis's sister. And Daniel Stern is the old man. Again, a part played by Darren-McGavin and Charles Grodin at one time. Now, what's interesting is the poster to this film shows the old man still salivating over the leg lamp that we all know from the original film. Ralphie wears a teddy bear costume in a poster, so, and with his trademark glasses. So it looks like it's kind of parading on the image of him wearing the bunny costume in the original film. Flick and Schwartz are back, and they are sword fighting with two oversized candy canes. And there's a girl next to Ralphie, who I guess presumably is the girlfriend. I'm not sure. So, you know, my question is, will Ralphie be having sex with this girl? He's a teenager now. I mean, is that possible? Is it going to be brought up? Who knows? I guess the story is set in the 1940s, or late 1940s, early 50s. There's not much more out there. Now, what's interesting is who's putting out this film. It's a company that is actually going out of business. It's an offshoot of Warner Brothers called Warner Premiere. And they were in the they are the direct-to-DVD slate division. So they do movies that go directly to DVD. None of them are ever released in theaters. And part of their thing is they did films that follow-ups to films, sequels, that had done well at the box office theatrically, but wouldn't be expected to do well if a sequel were to be made. Now, Warner Premiere started in 2006, and they're actually going out of business, as I said, and this is their last film. They also did sequels to The Lost Boys, and The Dukes of Hazzard, the prequel. Anyway, so that's what they confined themselves to, were follow-ups to movies that you wouldn't see in theaters. I don't know. I think somebody might go see Christmas Story Part 2 if it was in theaters, but what do I know? I mean, back in the day, back in, oh goodness, 2002, 2003, they released directly to theaters. Not Warner, but I think Disney, or an offshoot of Disney. Peter Pan Return to Neverland, which is the sequel to the original animated Disney film from the 40s, Peter Pan. And you know that somehow they thought this maybe should go directly to DVD or video, but did not. Now, what was interesting about all this, when I was thinking about the fact that this company decided to be so narrowly focused on follow-ups, is Slumdog-Millionaire, which was a Warner Brothers film, was going to be picked up by Warner Brothers, an independent company actually, and they decided not to distribute the film. In fact, Fox Searchlight did. But what was initially going to happen, Slumdog-Millionaire, which won the Best Picture of 2008, the Academy Award Best Picture, was that it was going right to DVD. It was going straight to DVD. But there was some faith put in from Fox Searchlight Pictures that distributed the film. You know, I don't know what to say. I can't, I don't know how this Christmas Story 2 is going to work. Frankly, when you don't really even have a sane cast, and of course that's impossible, because it's, what, almost 30 years. Next year will be 30 years since Christmas Story. So, Peter-Billingsley, Scott Schwartz, Darren-McGavin is not around anymore, Melinda Dillon, you know, they can't, they're much too old to play the roles, even if it's dealing with a decade later than the original film. The problem is that, you know, slapping a 2 in a movie like that is, you know, what Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel once said when they were on the Oprah show back in 1990. And they were talking about sequels. And they said that it's basically like a product. Dove comes out with a new product all the time. Coke, Pepsi, etc. I guess you could consider each new change a sequel to the original, but they still keep the same brand. They may modify it, may change it. So movies are treated as products. Sequels are in great ubiquity nowadays, especially remakes and reboots and etc. So I don't know. I mean, I would be curious to see it, but seeing the box cover for this film reminded me of a movie I've not seen called National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation Part 2, which was a sequel to Christmas Vacation, which itself is part of a series of the Vacation movies. And American Pie has done the same thing, and Land Before Time, and the list goes on. So my only issue is, without Gene Shepard being around to do the narration, you know, I don't know what to expect, and I don't know if this sequel is allegedly based on some of Gene Shepard's writings and/or broadcasts that he'd done on radio. So, but he won't be around to do narration because he passed away in 1999. I don't know. I guess we'll wait and see what happens. So, anyhow, until then, expect a review on this site. I'm not going to buy the DVD. I may rent it. More likely, I'll wait for cable, but we'll see. Until then, this is Jerry the Movies Week host, Jerry Saravia, signing off.